SEAF, what is SEAF? Small Enterprise Assistance Funds. Why did we get into small and medium businesses? Well, when we started in 1989, the development financial institutions were good at doing large projects, mining, five-star hotels, larger industries. But what was missing was the availability of equity capital for growing small and medium businesses. What we know is that small and medium businesses provide the majority of new jobs in most economies, certainly the developing economies. Small and medium businesses are the ones that fill in the gaps. You have a large production facility. Who's going to transport the necessary inputs? Who's going to set up the cold chain? Who's going to provide the seeds to the farmers? That's not going to be the large processing plant. That's got to be players up and down that value chain. And that was missing in many countries, was particularly missing in many of the ex-socialist countries. I think many of our big friends from USAID, from IFC, EBRD, many of the European development financial institutions realized that that part was missing, and they were looking for an implementing partner to do that. That's where SEAF stepped in 1989, and where we've been going ever since. But our DNA is still to look at the missing middle. Our DNA is to look at those entrepreneurs who are finding a gap, typically a gap where a government is not providing what you or I might think would be normal for a government. It could be good education, it could be quality health, it could be electricity. Many of these goods are not available to people, particularly not in remote areas or outside of capital cities. What we understood is that if you're going to invest in smaller businesses, you need to be locally present. This is not something you can do by an airplane. As a result, SEAF today has more than 30 nationalities working for us across the world. We have 160 employees, but only 12 or 13 are in Washington, D.C. The bulk are out in the country, therefore. And what happens is they understand the local problems because the entrepreneurs need the local problems. We have Western environmental and social and governance criteria very much inculcated by the development financial institutions. We are committed to transparency. We're an SEC registered investment advisor. But at the same time, we are able to work with local investors to explain to them why equity is an important part of their portfolio, to demonstrate what can be done. We are really one of the forerunners in Colombia in 2006 when we established the first general private equity fund there. The private capital that we're raising in Algeria, in Morocco, in Guatemala, all over the world. We are the first resident private equity funds, or one of the first resident private equity funds. And that's a big burden on us to show that you can make good investments that would attract other people as they see the need for equity as a tool for development and growth for their countries.